Hey friends, it's Shereé, and in today's video, I'm doing a little sewing catch-up with you. But first, if you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're a returning person, thank you so much for your continued support. All right, let's get into it. It is December the 15th. It is 10 days away from Christmas and I have so much to do, friends. I've done a lot of shopping, I've done some crafting, but I have so many things, and as you can see, I have a stack of fabrics behind me of things that I'd like to complete before Christmas. I'm making lots of different things. And I've also been sewing some things. So in this video, I want to share with you what I sewed, what my sewing plans are, and I also want to share with you my IndieStitch subscription box for the month of December. I'm really excited. I love receiving this box every single month. I also want to give you a few life updates, and so let's get into it. We'll start like usual and do IndieStitch first. IndieStitch is a monthly sewing subscription service where you receive a garment project every single month, and each month you will receive a pattern and all the things that you need in order to complete the garment project. So for the month of December, we got the Alley sweatshirt by Sew DIY Patterns, and at the top of every box they always include a little information card that tells you everything you need to know about this box. And I've already printed some of the information for the pattern included. This is the cover of the pattern, so you can see what it looks like. We have an option for color blocking, which is really cool. And this pattern can be done in a full length or a crop length, which I think is also very nice. Now for this box, you get to select which fabric way you want to receive. And for this month, there were 7 different options. I'll come in close so that you can see what those options were right here. And I actually chose the colorway of tan and black. And this is a lightweight French terry. It's very soft to the touch. And as you can see, this is a black, but it does have some white coming through or a gray coming through. So it's just a very lightweight, soft French terry. It will make a lighter weight sweatshirt, not something that's super heavy, which is nice for wearing indoors during the fall and winter. So I really appreciate that. Each cut is between 1.5 to 2 yards. So I might get lucky and I might be able to do 2 things out of this fabric instead of just the fabric for the sweatshirt if I don't do color blocking. So that could be fun, trying to squeeze more than one project out of this. Normally I can squeeze more than one project out of the fabric cuts that I receive from IndieStitch, and I always love when that happens. The next thing in the box, it looks like, is sweet treats. These are Annie Bees, and they kind of look like Tootsie Rolls, but I actually don't know what they are. I've never had these before, but there are 2 of them. And then there is the thread and 2 needles. The needles are ballpoint needles, and the thread is black. It's Gutermann thread. We also have some clips here. I love when they include little scissors or clips because I like to put them in different rooms of my house, and it's nice to have some to easily access when I need them instead of having to hunt all over the house for them. And I've griped about this before in other videos, but we have upstairs, downstairs, and I hate when I'm upstairs and I need scissors or clips and I don't have any. So whenever I get little things like this, I try to put some in the upstairs bathroom and some downstairs in the sewing room. So anyways, I love when they throw things in like this. There's also a seam gauge, just a standard seam gauge, and the pattern itself is printed on this nice thick sturdy paper like it usually is. I will say that this pattern does not have the different sizes and different colors, which is okay, but you know that's my preference. But as you can see, each of the different sizes has a different type of line. So there you go. That's the pattern. That is everything that's in the box. I have really enjoyed receiving my IndieStitch boxes. If you're curious about IndieStitch and want to see previous boxes that I have unboxed in the past, I will link a playlist below so that you can check out some of the other things that I've received. If you're interested in your own subscription through IndieStitch, there's a link for that below. It is an affiliate link, so I will receive a small commission. All the money that I make from this channel goes right back into the channel, and I do appreciate you for using my link if you do, but no pressure if you don't want to. All right, that's enough about IndieStitch. Let's move on to what I've been sewing. So I did a video right before Thanksgiving, and I was trying to decide what I was going to sew to wear for Thanksgiving. And to be perfectly honest, we went to Los Angeles and we were there for several days, and we ended up staying longer than what we originally planned. So that meant no time for sewing. But I did sew up two of the things that I was considering because I couldn't get them out of my mind, and I just had to make them, you know, come to life. I had to be able to add these things to my wardrobe. And now I'm super excited because it's really cold outside and I can actually enjoy wearing these things. Whereas before we were kind of just starting to move into fall weather, so it was a bit warm. So I will walk you through the things that I made, and I'm not actually styling them in this video. You won't see them on my body in this video. My next video will probably be me modeling the things that I make this month, because I do have some other things that I hope I can get done before I film that video. And it's nice to be able to take all those shots on the same day, photo shots on the same day instead of spreading it out. Anyway, the first thing that I sewed up is a pair of pants. It is Simplicity S9376, and I made this view here, which is view D. As you can see, she has it cuffed at the bottom. I chose not to do a cuff. I just did a regular hem, but it has a flat front waistband, and then there's elastic in the back. And I'll come in close so you can kind of see what the line drawings look like. But that's what the back looks like. Anyway, I made these out of a fun fabric that I had in my stash. It is a striped stretch denim twill fabric. I think that's right. And it's by the company Show Me Your Moo. And I've had it in my stash for, I think, 2 years. I'm not sure, but I was kind of intimidated by it. I always knew I wanted to make pants, but I just hadn't gotten around to doing it. And I finally have friends, and I really, really like them. See, that's the elasticated back, and then the flat front, and it has these pleats in the front that I think make them look so snazzy. But definitely a pair of pants that I plan to dress up with heels and boots. They're super comfortable, they're playful, and I'm definitely going to pair them with lots of bright in-your-face colors. So get ready to see the styling. But I love these. They're just a basic straight leg pant. Now, I will say they don't fit my legs as snug as they do on the woman on the cover. And it's probably because I have insanely skinny legs, but I have a pretty chunky, thick waist. So I have to size appropriately to fit my waist. And yes, I could have graded between sizes, but I thought it would be really cute and comfortable to just leave the pattern as it is. But I will say that it wouldn't hurt me to go down maybe one size, because I did decrease the length of the elastic in the back in order to make it hug my body better. So yes, I can go down a size if I want to get the exact look as the woman on the cover, but I think the look that I achieved is actually suitable for my lifestyle. So I'm really excited about that. There is one little thing that I'm not super happy about, is I tried to do my best to line up all of my stripes with the waistband, but there are a couple that didn't quite make it right in this section here, but I don't think it's terribly noticeable. As a matter of fact, my husband said he didn't notice it until I pointed it out. So there you go. So that was the first thing that I made. The next thing that I made is something that's been seriously on my to-do list forever. I don't even remember when I printed this pattern, but this is the Seamwork Dani Pinniore. And this is a lined pinafore dress that has no closures. So there's no zipper, there's no buttons or anything like that. It's just a very easy pull-on dress. Now it is fully lined, so I wouldn't say that this is necessarily going to be the quickest easy sew, but if you are a beginner sewer, I think you can make this pretty easily. As you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Seamwork. I continue to keep my subscription up because I love them so much. And I can pretty much find whatever I'm looking for on their website. I will say that this time around, sizing was a bit tricky. And this is my version. I made it out of a really chunky, thick, brown chocolate corduroy. And I lined it with this gorgeous cotton. And actually, I'm going to turn the dress inside out so you can see how gorgeous the lining is on this. I really love the way this project comes together. The reason why it never got sewn up before, because I was always supposed to use this fabric for this pattern. But the reason why it never got sewn up before is because it's lined. And a lot of times I don't want to take that extra step to create a lining, even though it is so nice to have. And I do believe that with this pattern, you can totally omit the lining and just use all the facings, because there are facings for the neck hole and the armholes. So really, if you just want to use the facings and then understitch them, you can get away with not doing a lining, especially if you're doing a thick, heavy fabric like I have done here. Like I said, very thick, cozy corduroy or denim or something like that. You don't have to do a lining, but I did. And because my fabric is so thick and chunky, my V here is not perfect. I did my best, but I also went through a couple of sewing needles in the process, and I broke my serger. Yes, my brand new serger that I've only had since June, I think, or maybe it was July, but it's the one that I won my FOF overlocker machine. I broke it. I'm so mad. But this was really thick and my needle broke, and at that point I realized I had never changed the needles on that machine before. So I thought, okay, no big deal, let me just look at the instructions real quick and figure out how to do this. So I unscrewed these tiny little screws on my serger machine and lost one of the screws. Devastated, looked everywhere for it. It's the tiniest little screw, and it's shaped strange, so it's not like something you can just go quickly buy real quick to replace it. So I did have to email the company, and I left a voicemail, so hopefully somebody gets back to me and lets me know how I can get replacement parts. But that's one thing. But then also, when I went to stick the new needles into the hole, I can't fit them in the holes, like they've been shifted over a bit or something. There's a little plate that covers or goes around the holes, and it's shifted. And I think it was because this fabric was so thick and my needle was so beat up. So it might be a cheap fix or it might be an expensive fix. I don't know. I've never had any of my machines serviced before. I usually just clean them myself, but I've never taken them in to be serviced, which I know is bad. But I, in my mind, thought I only need to take it in if there's something wrong with it, right? And yeah, so I've never done that before, but it's time. I'm gonna have to take care of it. But anyways, I was able to get through this project, and that's the important thing. But it did change my sewing plans for the rest of the month, and also my final project that I'll be sharing with you, because I had to get creative. I'm gonna turn this inside out so that you can see what the lining looks like. I just used a basic vintage cotton, 100% cotton that was in my stash that I've been holding on to forever. I thought I was gonna make a summer dress out of it, and I never did. But as you can see, this is the full lining of the dress. It's really pretty. I think it's nice, and I used the light cotton instead of like an acetate or like a what is it, you know, polyester lining, because I thought that might be make me a little too hot. So I just used this basic cotton, and it worked out nice. But as you can see, it has the facings all in the corduroy. So you have facings, you don't have to do a lining, but it looks nice. It looks nice to have a lining. But yeah, I mean, if you're using a thick fabric like I did, then you could totally omit it. And I think I actually might size down, because this is actually very big. And that's what I was going to say before, is that generally with all seamwork patterns, I am a size 10. It never deviates. But for some reason, this is very large on me. And when I look at the model, it fits more close to her body in here. And mine is a lot wider than my body. So I am a little confused about the sizing on this guy. And I want to make another version in a Ponte fabric. And I think I'll have to go down maybe even 2 sizes, because it's a stretchy fabric, in order to make it fit the way I want it to fit. But I think it will be so cute in a really nice stretch Ponte. And also it has pockets. So the pockets are here, and they're also lined in that same cotton fabric. So really great project. I enjoyed putting this together. Pretty time consuming, because you're basically sewing the dress twice since you have to have a lining, but it is easy, and there's no zippers and no buttons. So if you're interested in making a pinafore dress that doesn't have all the hardware, that's a good pattern for you. And I will have a link to Seamwork if you want to check out some of their other patterns in their subscription service. They have a new pattern. Actually, no, they have 2 new patterns every single month. And it's just a really nice subscription. I really enjoy having it, but there's a link for that below as well. Also an affiliate link. Now, the last thing that I made is actually a gorgeous little lightweight sweater dress with a turtleneck. And I had to sew this guy up a little different. than usual. I am a person that always finishes their seams, always. I never go without finishing my seams. But because I broke my serger and I didn't want to pull out my old serger, I had a time frame of completing all my sewing projects before I had to return to my normal mom duties. And so I didn't want to go through the hassle of pulling out my old machine and setting it up and all that. So I didn't finish my seams and I feel really icky about it. But since it's a knit project, I just kind of gave myself some grace, and I can always go back and finish the side seams and the neckband if it really drives me bananas. But as you can see, I have some unfinished seams on the inside, but it's really cute on the outside and you definitely can't tell that it's not finished. So this is very cute. I was going for like the True Bias Nico, but I had got this pattern during a $1.99 sale. It is Simplicity S9175. And it's very similar to the Nico dress. I actually would be curious to put those pattern pieces side by side to see how different they are, because I think they're pretty similar. So what I did is I made the body of this view here, and I used the sleeve and the neckband of this view. So I love the way it came out. I think I'll make several more because it was just so easy to put together. I think it was like 1, 2, 3, 4 pattern pieces, and that's it. Super quick. I sewed this up in an hour and I'm really happy about it. The only thing is, one thing I want to point out is it has darts in the back, which adds for shaping. But because there's darts in the back, it clings to my belly in the front. Gives me shape in the back, but it clings to my belly in the front. So what I'm going to do for future versions, I did make a size 14, which typically with knit patterns and Simplicity, I do have to size down to a 14. Unless I can grade between a 14 and a 16, just because I'm so petite in the shoulders. And so sewing a 14 in the shoulders fits perfect, but a size 16 fits better in the bust, waist, and hips. So, you know, anyway, I think what I can do is just add some to the side seams of the pattern for future versions, but I definitely want to make more because it is so quick and easy to sew up and so flattering on the body. So if you have both this pattern and the Nico by True Bias, let me know. Are they the same exact pattern, or are they just similar? Let me know, because I've always wanted that pattern but just didn't want to spend the extra money for it when I had this one in my stash. All right, so those were all of the things that I got around to making. So the other day, my kids and I stumbled upon this store called Savers. It's a thrift store, which is new to my city. And it's not a new store, like there's chains of them all over the place, but it's the first time I had ever been to one. I didn't get to spend as much time in there as I wanted to, and it was very, very crowded. An Instagrammer slash TikToker slash YouTuber who does a lot of thrifting posted about it, and after she posted about it, tons of people started flocking to the store. So it was crazy in there, and I didn't want to have my kids in there with all the craziness. So I literally just got a few things and we got out of there. So the first thing that I got, I actually can't show you, it's in the dryer right now, but it is a pair of Levi's jeans. They are men's jeans, and I'll be turning those jeans into a tote bag for my mother-in-law. Now, if you remember, I want to say it was Mother's Day, I made her a denim tote bag, but I used some beautiful denim that I got from Nick of Time Textiles, and she said it was too nice and she didn't want to mess it up when she carried it. And so she said what she really had envisioned is something that was upcycled. So I would have, if I would have known that, I would have went that route to begin with, but I didn't know that. So I made her, you know, a tote bag out of nice fabric that I purchased. Anyway, so now I'm going to take this pair of jeans and I'm going to upcycle them into a tote bag for her. They're being washed right now. And I will say this about Savers is that the price of their denim is much higher than like a Goodwill or a Salvation Army or something like that. Like at Goodwill, jeans are typically $8, and that's across the board, different brands included. Well, these are Levi's, and they ended up being $21 and some change, which I thought was kind of high, but they did look newer, and I wanted to keep the integrity of the pockets, the zipper fly, as well as the Levi's tag on the back. I wanted them all to be in good condition so that the bag looked new, right? So anyway, I have that's being washed up, and I paid about 21 and some change for it. Another thing that they have at Savers, which I wasn't anticipating, is a big book section. And so the cool thing about the book section is it has lots of different genres and themes. And so you can go to like mystery, thriller, you can go sci-fi, you can go horror, you can go romance. They had so many different things to choose from. And generally when you're thrifting books, they don't always separate it by genre, like they're just kind of mixed up. And so it was nice to actually shop a little bit of more organized chaos, because I mean, it's not like in alphabetical order or by author necessarily, but it is by genre, and that made it a lot easier to shop. And so I was able to get 6 of Crows, and I got this for $2.99, which is incredible because I want to say that this is somewhere between $7 to $10 paperback online. And they also had Black Cake. I watched the show of this on Hulu, but my husband read the book and he really enjoyed the book, so I thought I'd give it a try. It's $3.99. And then a long time ago, oh my gosh, I guess like 14 years ago or so, I read the whole, no, that's not true. I guess, yeah, 15 years ago, I read the whole Twilight series, and then this book randomly came out and I totally missed it. So this is Midnight Sun, and I think it follows Edward Cullen. I'm not sure because I haven't read it, but I read all the other books and I own them, and somehow I didn't know about this book. So I got this and it was $4.49. So cheap little book haul. So I want to go back to Savers to see if they have fabric, tablecloths, things like that, things that I can use for sewing, or maybe they even have actual sewing supplies. It was just so nuts in there, I couldn't go exploring, and it's a huge store. It's very big. So I look forward to checking them out in the future. If you have shopped Savers before in the past, let me know in the comments if they do in fact sell sewing supplies and fabric and things of that nature, or if it is mostly, you know, like clothes and stuff. I know they have like furniture and housing things like lamps and stuff like that. But like I said, I wasn't in there very long. But let me know if you've scored any sewing things there in the past. Okay, now I'm going to move on to projects. So as you know, I'm obsessed with making book covers, and I have a ton of scrap fabric. So for quite a few of my scrap fabrics here, I have cut out book covers in various different sizes, whether they be for paperback or hardback books. And I'm just using up all my scraps. And these are going to be great little last minute Christmas gifts for people. I don't know, like we host at Christmas every year, and sometimes people stop by and we weren't anticipating them coming and we don't have a gift for them. So I thought it would be nice to have a bunch of these sewn up so that I can gift them to people during Christmas time. So this one I made out of my Pinniore dress fabric. So it's the corduroy on the outside, and then I have the elastic there, and then that cotton fabric that I used to line my dress. I also made a quilted bookmark to go along with the book cover. So I thought that was really cute. And I have lots of different denim fabrics already pre-cut and ready to sew up. I've also cut out fabrics to make 2 different types of bookmarks. So I have these cut out for quilted bookmarks, and then I have been seeing online those fabric bookmarks that kind of stick on the corners of your pages, and they're just made from like quilting squares. So I cut up a bunch of quilting squares, so when it's sewn together, you just slip the page right here and it holds your page. So lots of different bookmarks cut up. Now this is going to be definitely rainy day after work projects that I can kind of like get done quickly without having to pull out every single sewing supply that I usually use to make garments. So I'm looking forward to that. I have also cut out a bunch of little zip cases. They're like the little taco style zip cases. I drafted this pattern, so fingers crossed it works out, and I'll let you know if it does. And if it does, maybe I'll do a sewing tutorial. But basically it'll sit like this and have a zipper on top. So a little taco pouch. And I thought it would be fun to match the book covers with the little pouches, maybe put some little like highlighters and annotating like tabs and post-its or whatever inside the little pouch. So I thought that might be a cute little gift to give. So that's what these are all about, and there's a lot of them in this tiny stack, and it's all scrap fabric that I didn't know what to do with and was just sitting in my stash, and I felt guilty about throwing it away. So now it won't be thrown away, it will be used for a purpose. Now behind me, these are also all scrap fabrics, and they are varying between like a yard, 2 yards, and all of this fabric is going to be tote bags, whether it be like the outside and the lining or whatever. I even have some beautiful linens in here that are just enough fabric to make a tote bag. And again, with that same thought that I can gift these to people. So it's a ton of fabric, it's a lot of sewing, but I'm hoping it will be relaxing and I can just put on a Christmas movie and kind of blitz through all of my tote bags and my book covers. And I'll show you the pattern that I'll actually be using for the tote bags. So for the tote bags, I'm going to be using Simplicity S9308. And I'll probably be doing mostly this size, but I might squeeze in a couple of small ones as well. I think that for this size, it's just the perfect size for like on the go, like if you're gonna go to any random errand and you just wanna throw some things into a bag, that's the perfect size for it. This one I think is perfect for like a little book bag. If you're a person that likes to read on the go at a coffee shop or at the park and you just want to throw in your reading glasses, your book, and maybe a bottle of water, these are smaller. So that's about what you're going to fit in there. So based off of the size of my scrap, that will determine what size tote bag will be made out of it. Now I've made this pattern, I don't know how many times at this point. I can sew this thing with my eyes closed, and so can my son. He's made a lot of them as well. So he might actually help me. That would be nice if he would help me get through all my stack of fabric. But I think that'll be a really nice way to use up all this scrap fabric. I also thought about maybe quilting some things, but I don't think I have time. Like I said, I'm only going to be sewing for the next week, maybe 2 weeks leading up to Christmas. Another pattern that I will be using with my scraps for gifts for other people is this padded case. And I did share one of these. This is by the assembly line, and it is a free pattern that you can download. Now I did make tweaks to my version. I have squared off this flap so that it's not rounded. And I've also done either a snap closure or a button closure in previous ones that I've made, but you can quilt it or choose not to quilt it, but it's just a nice little case and it comes in so many different sizes. You can do a pencil pouch, you can do a large laptop sleeve. It comes with all the sizes and all the pattern sizes are included in here. So it's a great free pattern. And if you're looking for a last minute gift to sew up for someone, I think this one is nice. So I could see myself, if I wanted to really be nice to somebody, I could make them the pouch, the tote, and the book cover all in the same fabric. And I think that would be a really nice gift, as well as even the little taco pouch. Like you could put lip glosses in there, hand lotion, something like that. But that would be a really nice like coordinated gift set, and all made from scraps in my stash. None of these projects that I'll be working on will require a full yard of fabric. So I'm excited about that. And it'll be a good way to clear out some of the fabric that was just taking up space in my stash. So all this fabric has recently been rewashed and ironed. So it's literally ready to go. I just have to sit down and cut it all out and get to sewing. My hope is that I'm able to get it done before Christmas, and if not, then I will probably shrink wrap it and save it for a future date. I don't know, we'll see. Over Christmas break, when I'm off work, I don't know that I'll get to sew the way I really want to, because we will be hosting family staying with us. But if it happens that I do get some time to myself to sew, I would like to use what's left of my corduroy fabric to make an Ilford jacket. I think that would be so nice. This fabric is so warm and cozy. I just can imagine it making the most perfect jacket. So I really want to do that. And I think that is an unlined pattern. I'll probably go to some of my cotton fabrics in my stash to pick a fun lining to go with this, because I just think that would be such a nice jacket that I can use from years to years to years for years to come. The other thing I'd like to make is a very long cardigan, like a chunky long cardigan, one that goes nearly to my ankles. And I don't have a pattern for that. I'll probably have to lengthen one of the patterns I already have in my stash. If you personally have sewn a super long cardigan like that, that's meant to be made out of a chunky fabric, let me know what it is, because I definitely have a vision in mind. But this is the fabric I'll use. I've had this in my stash for a very long time. I actually bought this when Melanated Fabrics first opened, and I've just been hoarding it. It's such a beautiful fabric. I had bought this in several different colorways, sewed up all the other colorways for gifts for other people and projects for myself, but then held on to this one. So it's time to sew it up. It's time to put it in my closet and to wear it, okay? This gorgeous color, this amazing color, I need to wear it. I need to wear it. So I'm hoping to do those two things over Christmas break for myself. Not that I need any more clothes, but girls, we always need the clothes, okay? But anyway, that's what I'm up to. A couple of life updates. If I'm looking tired and haggard lately, it's because I haven't been able to really spruce myself up. I'm battling some skin issues. I recently was diagnosed with rosacea, and so it has caused my skin to break out and to turn red. I don't know if you could tell in this video, I'm very red. And so I just don't want to put anything on my face to irritate it. It's also irritating my eyes, which is strange. I didn't realize that there was any relationship to rosacea in the skin and your eyes. So my eyes are a little bit weird lately. So please forgive that. I'll be fine. I'm working it out. But in the meantime, I haven't been able to really put anything on my face, and I'm looking different. So there you have it. What else is changing? I don't know. We've just been really busy. Like, my kids are playing sports, and so we're busy with basketball and also all things holiday related. So it's been a busy time, but I'm hoping to be able to crank out some more videos for you. And like I mentioned before, my next video will be styling all the things that I've made. Hopefully I can add this to the collection as well as my jacket, but we'll see. I hope you're having a fantastic December. I hope you have a great week, and I will talk to you very soon. Have a wonderful day.